Hello. Really hoping this is working and it's recording. I just did a whole session and it didn't record. Well, it did. It didn't record the audio, so I've had to start again. My name's Jill. If you're new to my channel, if you are already subscribed, you've probably been wondering where I am. Where I've been, rather. I'm here now. Yeah, just a lot happening. Thanks for sticking with me, and thanks for some of you who've reached out and asked how I am. I'm perfectly fine. I had a little bout of illness. Then I went away on holiday for a while. Then I've just been busy working and doing stuff. But it's on my heart to come back and talk to you a little bit more about some of the words of Jesus as I am understanding them. So this isn't perhaps what you would normally hear on videos about Jesus, Christianity. Nothing wrong with that. It's not that what I'm going to be saying is contradicting that. But this is about going deeper through listening in to what's within, the Christ within, and that's what I'm going to be sharing. And looking at his words from a non-dual perspective, let's just say. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm thinking today about when Jesus said, those who die to self find themselves, and those who try to save their lives lose their lives, something like that. What is it? It's if you save your life, you'll lose it. But if you lose your life, you'll find it. And he said this in context of saying, if you want to follow me, you must take up your cross and follow me. And deny self. And if you're like me, you'll have been brought up to believe that that means about being a good person, being selfless, not putting yourself first, putting others first, and doing good works, giving to others, thinking about what you can give rather than what you can receive, and all of that. Now, even the language I'm using there is dualistic. See, self and others, as though it's two different things. And, there's virtue to be found in that teaching. Because if everybody was completely selfish, if we had a world full of narcissists, just imagine what the hell on earth that would be. So, yeah, there's a place for that teaching. But it's all conceptual within the game of duality, the idea of duality, the idea that we're all separate beings. I'm different to you, and I'm over here, you're over there, and I'll just be kind to you because I want to be a good person. I want to get my brownie points. I want to do what the Bible tells me I should be doing, or what Jesus would teach us to do. It's valid, but there's a lot more to it if we really try to understand the mysticism, the non-duality behind it. So, what do I mean by that? If we think about who the self is, then we're conditioned to think it means me, Jill, the personality, because we use the word myself, don't we? And so myself is conceptually different to others, whoever that other might be. And however many people are on the planet, 7 billion people, I don't know quite what it is, but, I'm just one among 7 million selves. Okay. And we're all competing for resources, we're all competing for love, for attention, for affirmation, for confirmation, of who we are, and so it's all competitive. And a lot of energy and time and resources is put into defending this self, defending its reputation, worrying about what judgments are being made on it, what others think of this self. And it's exhausting. And I think that what Jesus meant when he said, if you die to that self, that idea of self, you find life, because suddenly you're free from the burden of preserving that self-image. So if we think of it like clothes, then the clothes would be the layers of the roles that the self, the idea of self, is made up of. And you do get non-dual teachers who talk about the self with the capital S, like the true self, and then the small self. And that can be helpful, can't it? It can be helpful to an extent. I've used that analogy before. I've talked about stepping out of the story of the small self when I'm doing healing in particular, because what I've come to know is that the authenticity of the truth of who we really are in the essence, at essence, when we touch base with that, that's where healing happens, because it's a unitive field. It's a place where there isn't a separation. And this is strange to some people because they want to tell you their story. They want to tell you about the person that they want healing for. And it really doesn't matter, because that's just dualistic. The separation collapses. So the place of holding what is really a sacred space, because there's divinity in it. Jesus was so aligned and in touch with his divine essence that healing happened. Just healing happened wherever he went. Anybody who had contact with him, he was a healing presence because of his conscious awareness of his own divinity. And this is what he wanted to teach others about. This is what he wants us to know, because that's wherein we find our own healing, we find life in all its fullness, and how we heal others. Because there is no other, essentially, see how I use that word. So to come back to the layers, the clothes, let's just play a little game now. Let's just do it. Think about what makes up your sense of self. Might be yourself as a mother, as a child to someone else, as a daughter or son. Might be your sense of self as a partner, husband or wife, as a lover, or as a role that you play in your work, a professional role that you play. Some of these roles we are more invested in than others. It's funny, when we meet people, we often say, what do you do? What are you? We want to know what somebody does, and that's their identity. We make a judgment on them on the strength of that, or we're just curious and we're interested. But these are all the clothes, the accessories to the self. And so I invite you now to just take off your clothes, take them off a layer at a time. Begin with the one that's most superficial, perhaps the one that's the job that you do. It might be just a job that you do that you don't particularly enjoy. It just brings the money in, so you can discard that one quite easily. Maybe you look forward to weekends and holidays, so you don't have to wear that job hat anymore. And then there are the others that might make demands on us. Depending, if you're a mother, it would change. When you've got very young children, it's very demanding. And often you just want a chance to put your feet up and have time out just for a few moments. And it gets lighter, the demands on you, as you get older, as your children get older. But that's one that you might happily let go of, just to give you a bit of time out. The relationships you really enjoy, just let go. And you might think, well, I don't want to let go. I enjoy that. That's where I get my identity from. I love being a wife to my husband, or, it doesn't matter, because even the pleasure, even the joy we get from the roles that we play, they're still part of the story. So let's just play with this idea of taking off the roles, stripping off the clothes, because we can play with it. Just as an experiment to touch base with what's below it. You might say, but if I let go of all those layers and roles, there'll be nothing left of me. If I let go of self, what's left? Nothing will be left. No thing, nothing. And that's a scary thought. But I invite you to do it, just to play with it, just to try it. Sit now quietly, close your eyes if it helps, because then we're shutting down the senses. the senses that remind us of our environment and our role and the story that we're in. And what is left when you let go of that? You see, you're still there. Being is still there. You've not disappeared. You're still looking. There's eyes looking out. If you open your eyes, you're still looking out at the world, but you've got a different understanding of that. Because you're aware of yourself being pure, naked awareness. And it's liberating. Because there's no role to fulfill. There's no story to defend. Nothing to fix. No one to impress. You're just experiencing pure, essential being, the naked essence of who you really are. And here's the thing, that naked essence of who you really are is the same essence that Jesus was and is. It's the same essence of every other human being, not only that is alive on the planet now, but who has ever lived. Just think about that for a moment. And a characteristic of this naked, pure essence that's unfiltered from thoughts, ideas, names, roles, is love. That's its essential nature, is love. And in love there is healing. Perfect healing. Because we return to that essence, return to wholeness. Just reconnecting with our true nature. That's what I've learned about reconnective healing and how I'm processing it in relation to faith, traditional faith, and the person of Jesus and his teaching. And I'm finding this is what he was trying to teach us. It's all the same wisdom. So I invite you into exploring that for yourself, just sitting and being and returning to the essence of who you really are. Letting go. Bit by bit, roll by roll, letting all the clothes fall off in a pile on the floor in front of you. You can pick them up and put them back on when you need to. But just that liberation, freedom, healing that comes from being naked, spiritually naked. Is where you find yourself, your true self, where you find life and freedom and healing. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to know more about Reconnective Healing, then please visit my website, jillbrennan.co.uk, and you can book a session with me and experience healing, because healing really does happen when we share this experience on a one-to-one. It's remarkable. Never ceases to amaze me, because there's knowing, there's information, there's energy. There's knowing in a way that the small self, the separate self, can't know. It's limitless. It's infinite. And we're able to transcend the finite nature of the person, personality and the personhood that we think we are when we're playing this game of separation and duality. So wonders unfold when we start exploring the non-dual teachings of Jesus. I hope you'll join me for more of this next time. Thanks for watching. All my love. Bye for now.